about the program?
I told him that if I ever, in the past 3 and 3/4 years, if I ever had any doubt that the program worked, I don't have any anymore.
Because it's working for you right now.
It tenfold.
Awesome.
Tenfold.
We're going to get back to some effective stress management techniques. We said it requires 2 basic things: the lifestyle to accommodate healthy daily practice, and go inside of our own heads and confront change in our dysfunctional thinking. The first task is by far the simplest. It follows common sense. Regular exercise, healthy diet, plenty of rest and sleep, putting first things first, etc., will prepare us to handle the circumstances of our lives with more efficiency and energy. You can't keep running on empty. You really have to make time for those things. Something as addicts, we never even gave a second thought.
No.
That's why our health goes to absolute crap then. All right, the second task presents the real challenge. It's especially true for alcoholics and addicts, whether in recovery or not. Alcoholics and addicts are notorious for narrow, close-minded, self-centered, self-righteous thinking. Nevertheless, there are solutions and they do work. Did I just describe us, AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the nail on the head.
As when I was a full-blown addict, oh yeah, it was all about me and where I was getting my next line. Absolutely.
What happens is when we go through something like this and we're still in active addiction, we run ourselves into the ground, because if we stop, then we're forced to think about it. And that's something that we don't want to do. So we keep going and going and going and going until we run ourselves ragged, and we may pass out, but we don't get any real rest.
Yeah, exactly. All right, when this guy, remember I told you it was written by Charles N. Roper. When I started studying Zen Buddhism some years ago, now mind you, your higher power comes in all different forms, but it's still something bigger than you. One of my teachers told me that the first thing I needed to do was to acknowledge and accept the fact that everything I knew for a fact was incorrect. He said that I could take a shortcut through the spiritual learning process if I would just discard everything I knew for a fact and start over with a fresh, uncluttered mind.
Love it.
When I resisted his assessment of my knowledge base, he challenged me thusly: carefully consider the source of your information. At that point, I had to really stop and think about where and from whom I had learned my beliefs, opinions, and attitudes. The sources were less than reliable. They included my alcoholic parents, the public school system, a judgmental Southern Protestant church, my alcohol and drug abusing friends, television programs, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we reach adulthood, our heads are filled with what Albert Ellis, a noted psychologist and researcher, calls common upsetting beliefs. And these common upsetting beliefs have everything to do with stress and stress management. Indeed, they are the heart of the matter. It's our own stinking thinking.
I'm going to give you a prime example of those screwed up beliefs. People have a tendency to get caught up in their own beliefs and whatnot. The night that I got here, I was told that Margarita's mother was going to hire a security guard to stand outside the funeral home. And if you were a girl who dressed like a boy or who looked like a stud, you would be turned away. So I had to, and it went against everything that I believed in. It wasn't about the clothes. It was, this is not who I am. I went to her funeral in girl attire.
Because you wanted to honor Margarita. You wanted to be there.
I wanted to honor Margarita, but that was just her mother's way of shoving her beliefs down everybody's throat.
Correct. The following list of statements suggests some of the beliefs that most people carry around in their heads, at least in some form or another. I should be competent in most or all respects. Some people are bad and deserve to be punished. Events in my life should always go the way I want them to. Events, circumstances, and other people are what cause my upset feelings.
Oh, yeah.
People should mind their own business and leave me alone. I have a right to worry and feel upset about dangerous and unjust situations. It is easier to avoid difficulties and responsibilities than to face them. My early childhood experiences, Heyman is right. My early childhood experiences control my feelings and behavior as an adult. I have a right to feel upset over my problems and over other people's stupid behavior. There is an absolute right and wrong concerning every situation. The world should be fair, and in the end, justice must prevail. There are some things that I know for absolute certain are true. Some people should be different than the way they are. I have the right to seek revenge on people who hurt me. Now, these are just things that we all have preconceived notions of, and it makes us that much harder to find the stress relief because this stuff is all cluttered in the back of our heads to begin with.
A lot of times people think when they get clean and sober, like you said, the life is still going to happen. It's not like we get sober and the skies part and the angels start singing. It does not work like that.
Not for long, anyway.
Life is still going to happen, but the only difference is in sobriety, you learn the tools that you were never given to deal with situations such as this.
Correct. Many of the situations that we encounter on a day-to-day basis threaten our attitudes and beliefs. When this happens, we typically react defensively and or angrily and or fearfully, hence upset feelings and stress. Does the following attitude belief sound familiar? That idiot cut me off on the highway. He's stupid and wrong. He's dangerous. He scared me, and he could have hurt me. I have a right to feel upset and angry. If I ever see him again, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. The idea here is that in reality, the driver did not cause me to feel upset. My own thinking did.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. We can't control the actions of others, but we can control the way we deal with any stress-given situation.
Correct. We cannot. Again, the expectations of what we think other people should be doing and saying and feeling, and no, it doesn't work quite so well for us.
No.
This conceptualization of internally generated stress makes even more sense when considered in terms of negative self-talk. We almost continually talk to ourselves, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. A lot, perhaps most, I do too. Perhaps most of that talk has a negative twist to it and represents some variation of the common upsetting beliefs that I already talked about. Now, consider the following list of negative messages and possible positive counterpart, which we will get back to right after our last commercial break, since I just looked up. This is brought to you by Francis House Incorporated in Tampa Bay. They provide HIV supportive services in a safe environment designed to encourage and empower those affected to become self-sufficient members of the community. You can find them quicker and faster at rainbow411.com. We'll be right back with our last segment.
It's a great day to be gay. You're listening to GSHradio.com.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This is Dario, and you're listening to GSHradio.com.
Back with Pit Stop. All right, we were getting into the list of negative messages and possible positive counterparts. AJ, still with me?
I'm still with you, baby.
Yay. All right. If you have these negative self-talk messages, I'm going to give you some positive self-talk messages. And the whole reason for a bunch of this stuff is to make sure that when life hits you and hits you hard, it becomes second nature to be able to learn new coping skills and to deal with them instead of just looking to numb out, to get high, to get drunk. Negative self-talk messages. I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I'm so stupid. Now, haven't we all said that one? Instead, we need to say, oops, I made a mistake. I'll be more conscientious next time. Don't take it so hard. We are not perfect. And yes, that is one of my major character flaws, and but I still work on it so that when things like my mom passed away, I didn't lose it. I didn't go out drugging and to get high. And it's things that you have to tell yourself on a daily basis. He's such an idiot. I can't believe he's so stupid. He made a mistake. We all make mistakes, even me. We are a flawed species. It's going to happen. I hate her. She hurt me, and she'll be sorry someday. How about, I feel hurt. I wonder why I'm taking her attitude and her behavior so personally. We can't control them, but
you
we
don't
can
necessarily
control
have
us.
to say it in those exact words. You know, you can say it, damn it, man, you know, she hurt me. I just want to know why.
And
You know what I'm saying?
And you need to know why.
You need to know why it bothers you so much as well.
Exactly. Why it bothers
Always
you.
look for your own actions. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 out of 10 times we always play a part in something.
Always. All right, how about, this is terrible. This is terrible. I can't stand this. This is killing me. Again, a panic attack. I must be taking this situation too seriously. It's obviously not the end of the world. These are things to tell yourself as soon as these thoughts hit your head, turn them around. Turn them around. Because then my blood pressure doesn't go up. My doctor doesn't worry so much about me. I don't have to worry about another heart attack. You know, little things like that. Turn it around immediately. As soon as you realize that you're saying stuff like that, do it. He's rotten to the core. He deserves to burn in hell. I don't like or agree with his behavior, but it's not my place to judge him. Again, we cannot control other people. No matter how hard we might want to, it's not going to happen. I should be able to handle this. Other people can. I'm doing the best I can with who I am today, and that's okay. Right,
Just
AJ?
today.
Just today. One day at a time. Sometimes a minute, sometimes a second, but just today. He makes me so darn mad. I don't have to give him the power over me to make me feel angry. You're letting them rent space in your head. He's never there when I need him. I just can't trust him. I am responsible for myself and my own feelings. I can choose to rely for support on people who can be there for me. Choose to rely on them. This is your life and your path. You are responsible for your own actions. My upbringing prevents me from loving or trusting other people. And I do know someone who has worked through this. My childhood has interfered with my willingness to trust. I will learn to trust as an adult. As addicts, remember, we are mentally and emotionally stunted at the time that we become addicts, and we don't start growing again until after we are in recovery. So when we become adults could be when you're 50. Hopefully it won't take that long, but that's the way it is. I just can't stand the way some people act. I am responsible for my own behavior and no one else's. I got a little story too. I had a friend of mine who called me this past week, as a matter of fact. Her son needed a place to stay. He had slept the night before in a park. This is a good friend of mine. Her, I would trust implicitly. Her son, however, had had a few beers. It was obviously more than a few beers.